7. Solve the equation x squared minus 7x plus 6 equals 0. Now this is the one they want to know. When they say solve the equation, they want to know what two numbers multiply together to give you that number. Okay? So this is the one where you start with your two empty brackets. Do you remember this? And you need to get 2 that multiply to give you the end one, and add to give you the middle one. And if you're not sure, which is the add and which is the multiply, think of what you learned to do first in primary school. The first thing you learned to do was add. So the first number you're adding. The second thing you learned to do is multiply. So the last one is what you're multiplying. Okay? So you want two numbers that multiply to give you 6 and add to give you 7.
1 and 6.
Yeah. So the first thing you're going to do is this x squared. Squared, that means there's 2 of them. So you put one of the x's in here and one of the x's in here. When you multiply those together, you're going to get x squared. Okay? Then, see, because one of these is a minus and one of these is a plus, because the signs are different, okay, you're going to put both of these are going to be minus in the brackets. Okay? When the signs are different, they're both minus. When the signs are the same, they're plus. Okay? And if the signs are the same but they're negative, then it's a plus and minus. Okay? So if it's minus and a plus, then you're going to have minus minus in the bracket. If it's a plus and a plus, you're going to have plus and a plus in the bracket. If it's a minus and a minus, you're going to have a minus and a plus in the bracket. Okay, so that's the thing to remember about the signs. Okay, this is a minus and a plus, so it's a minus minus in the bracket. That was plus and that was plus. Both the signs in the brackets would be plus. If that was minus and that was minus, one would be a minus and one would be a plus. Okay, because it has to do with how you multiply things together. A plus by a minus always gives you minus, so it'll always result in a minus answer. Okay? Don't worry about too much because it'll work itself out. And there's a second way you can do this if you get bogged down with this way. We'll be coming across in the second part of the question, so you'll no doubt then. Okay, so you want two numbers that multiply to give you 6 and add to give you 7. You always start with the factors of 6, right? So start with 1 by 6. 6 by 1 gives you 6. 6 plus 1 gives you 7. So straight away you have your answers. So your two numbers are going to be 6 and 1, and it doesn't matter where they go.
Doesn't matter.
Not in this one, no. Okay? Now, the way you have one more step you need to do in this to write your answer, because they actually want to know what x is equal to. And what you need is you need the x to be equal to some number so that when it goes together with the minus 6, it's going to give you 0. Okay? So what number would you take 6 away from to get 0? Yeah. So x is equal to 6. In this one, x is equal to 1. X is always equal to whatever that number is with the opposite side. Okay? So if that was plus 6, x would be equal to minus 6. Right? Right, that's that one. Now the next one is similar, but you can't do it by inspection that way. There's a formula you have to use. And if you want, in this next one I'm going to show you, you can use the formula for doing it that way as well. So if you forget how to do it that way, just use the formula way of doing it. You have to use the formula for the second one, for part B, but you can use the formula for part A as well. And that's just faster and less bullshit, if you can remember how to do it that way. And just to show you quickly, okay, we had x squared minus 7x plus 6 equals 0, yeah? And we ended up with x minus 6, x minus 1, wasn't it? If you multiply those out, that by that gives you x squared, that by that gives you minus 1x, minus 6 by x gives you minus 6x, and minus 6 by minus 1 gives you plus 6. And if you put that together, that's x squared minus 1x minus 6x is minus 7x plus 6. Answer is the same as what you started with. Okay? So when you multiply it out, it should give you back what you started with. But you don't need to do that. I'm just showing you why that's the answer. That when you multiply it together, it gives you the number you started out with. Now, in the next one, you have to choose the formula. And to find the formula, you go to the index page and you're looking for algebra. So anything with letters is algebra. And it tells you to go to page 20. You go to page 20 and you want the first thing. This is called a quadratic equation. Anything with x squared is quadratic. Okay? So this is a quadratic equation, and the very first formula here gives you the formula for a quadratic equation. And it's minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared plus 4ac all over 2a. Now it looks horrible, especially with this here. That freaks people out, but it's actually easy because your calculator is going to do all of this. All you need to do is substitute in, and if you don't know, it tells you here right in the book that you'll have in your exam, it tells you that a is the number in front of the letter squared, b is the number in front of the letter on its own, and c is the number without a letter. So in this case, we have what you're given t squared minus 6t minus 23 equals 0. So your b is equal to, let's start with a. Your a is equal to 1 because there's no number in front of the t. Now lads, don't put down 0. If it was 0, they wouldn't write in t squared. The fact that it's there means there's one of them. Okay, I have a pen, but I don't say I have one pen. I just call it a pen, right? There's no number in front of it means there's one of them. So there's 1t squared. There's minus 6 t's, and of the numbers, there's minus 23. Okay? Once you have that, it's a simple case of substitution. So you have minus 6, okay, for the b, instead of b squared. Now minus by minus together gives you plus. So change that to plus 6. Right, the minus by the minus gives you plus. So you have 6. And you have to do this twice. First you do it with the plus, then you do it with the minus. 6 plus the square root of, instead of b squared, you have just the number, don't worry about the sign. 6 to be squared plus 4. A is 1. C is minus 23. All over 2. A is 1. Now you might say, why did I put the minus in there and I didn't put it there? I'm going to be squaring that. So when you square it, it's going to turn out positive anyway, so it doesn't matter. Okay, when you get to that stage, put it into your calculator. Don't do anything more with it. Then do it again. B minus the square root of 6 squared, oh sorry, not B, 6 minus the square root of 6 squared plus 4 bracket 1 minus 23 all over 2 bracket 1. Okay, just put that twice into your calculator, that the first time, that the second time, and what you will get is the first time, for this one, the plus, you'll get t is equal to 8.66, and for this one you'll get t is equal to minus 2.66. Okay? That's what you get. That's the answer your calculation will give you when you put that in. One little note, I think, when you're doing the minus 23, use the minus up here, the negative here in the bracket to put in the minus 23, otherwise it's take away 23. Okay, use that one for the minus. And yeah, the calculator just spits out the answer. And we're all good. Okay, straightforward calculation. Now, for the other one, you can use that as well. For the x squared minus 7x plus 6, you can use that exact formula also if you prefer to. Alright, so if you forget how to do part A, use the formula.
We do it
Right.
twice.
Yep, you have to do once for the plus and once for the minus.